Before the video starts, make sure to watch the previous part to understand this part. Previous part link in the description. Let's begin. Chapter 18. In the carriage, Roxy asks Fate, who does not appear to be in a very nice mood, whether he doesn't like the idea of traveling to her place. She asks so because he does not smile very often. Fate tells her that it's not like that. Actually, he did give the Blelix another thought, that intervened and persuaded him that this wasn't going to work out, and that he should instead look forward to this trip with a great deal of enthusiasm instead. Fate continues talking and adds that he has heard that it is grape harvesting season, and that the grapes that Roxy-sama gave him the other day were very beautiful. He also notes that he has been informed that the time of year for picking grapes has arrived, which is something that he does not do himself. As a direct result of this, Roxy's face breaks out in a grin, and she remarks that he is always thinking about food. Next, she explains to him that the land had not always been suitable for the cultivation of grapes, and that it had required a significant amount of time and effort to transform the soil into an environment that was suitable for the cultivation of grapes. Despite this, throughout the course of the past few years, the vineyard has emerged as one of the most major reasons for the Hart family to take pride. Roxy-sama continues by informing Fate that all of this has resulted in the emergence of wolf-like beasts that are referred to as kobolds, and that these creatures are seeking for their plentiful harvest. Roxy-sama believes that a typical soldier would have very little chance of surviving an encounter with them due to the fact that they continually travel in large numbers and launch coordinated attacks, and that they also have an amazing talent for detecting odors. These factors combined would make it extremely difficult for a regular soldier to outlive an encounter with them. As a consequence of this, she is of the opinion that a regular soldier has an extremely little chance of surviving a confrontation with them. Roxy-sama tells Fate that one of the primary reasons she takes the difficult trek back to her homeland at this time of year is to participate in a kobold hunt. During the course of their conversation, Roxy revealed to them that she is certain that they will also visit this year, and she informed them of this information. She also told them that she is confident that they will visit. Fate's stomach began to churn, and he believes that Gluttony is responding because, after learning about kobolds, he is no longer happy with only gathering goblin souls. On the other hand, he is also interested in swallowing the souls of kobolds. Also, quick reminder as we are going through the recap, if you are new to the channel, around 52% of viewers are not already subscribed. And if that's you and you want to guarantee you're always up to date with all good content like this, so feel free to hit that subscribe button and join us on the road to 1 million subs. And if you enjoy the video or if you found it interesting, let me know by dropping a like and comment on it as well would be seriously appreciated. Let's continue. When a pack of wolves attacked the wagon that they were traveling in, everyone was taken totally by surprise. Roxy-sama asserts that the wolves are arrow-wolves, not kobolds, and that it's probable that they arrived following the smell of the kobolds. After that, she gives Fate the orders to take a few steps back and use her sword to protect herself as the wolves are attacking. The abilities of the little holy knight leave Fate awestruck, and she has the impression that the performance is about more than just putting on a show for the spectators. Roxy, Sama, and Fate are greeted warmly by Roxy's mother when they arrive at Roxy's house, despite the fact that it appears as though Roxy's mother is in the latter stages of a protracted illness. Roxy tells her mother that she didn't have to come and welcome them, to which her mother answers that she is feeling better now and wonders about Fate, wondering who she might possibly be. When Roxy tells her mother that he is going to be her new servant, Roxy's mother, Fate, rushes over to congratulate her daughter on the wonderful news. Roxy's mother has always been very close to her daughter. While Fate was thinking about all of this, the woman suddenly asked, "Do you like Roxy?" It may come as a surprise to Fate that she is Roxy-sama's mother, because Fate feels that she has a serious disease. Yet, taking into consideration how sweet she is, it is not at all strange that she is Roxy-sama's mother. Roxy's mother confides in her daughter that she is going to inquire of Fate as to whether or not the latter enjoys working for Roxy, which causes Roxy to experience uncomfortable feelings while also causing Fate to be taken aback by the inquiry. Fate is left wondering if he said anything strange, as Roxy-sama's mother asks Fate to take good care of Roxy-sama, and Fate reassures her that she would. As a direct consequence of hearing the news, both of the children are able to breathe a sigh of relief. And over time, Fate comes around to the idea that he has feelings for Roxy-sama. Even though he is well aware that their social statuses are so different from one another, and that it is impossible for them to ever be able to be together, he would be more than glad to spend the rest of his life by her side if she were to have him. During the time that Fate first becomes aware of the passage of time, he is toiling away at work during the grape harvest. After that, he arrives at the realization that it is time for him to head back to his place of abode. While he is making his way back, he notices a young woman coming toward him with what appears to be a large weapon that is comparable to an axe slung over her shoulder. She is moving in the direction of him now. She has bloodshot eyes, much like he did in the past when he was so emaciated that he was on the verge of passing out, Fate notices. Fate approaches her with the goal of passing judgment on her, but much to his shock, she calls him first before she does so. When he gazes into her eyes, there is nothing else that he can see besides her. She is the only thing that captures his attention. The moment the young lady discovers that he is not responding to her, she immediately makes another attempt to communicate with him and asks him whether or not he is able to hear what she has to say. The girl responds by revealing her want in response to Fate's question. "What do you want?" Fate then questions her further. Destiny inquires as to what time it is, but she disregards his inquiry and continues speaking. She explains to him that she traveled all this way to track down the Keybolds, but that she is going to give up her pursuit of them and let Fate have them. Fate makes one more attempt to inquire as to what constitutes too early, but she disregards his question. Roxy recognizes the girl from earlier and reveals to Fate that she is a galleon. She then expresses confusion as to why the galleon is in such an unfamiliar environment. Fate reveals that he is familiar with the term galleon, and he inquires of Roxy-sama as to whether or not the race of galleons became extinct quite some time ago. In answer, Roxy-sama confirms that this is in fact the situation, and she continues by stating that galleons were the pioneering people who initially settled on the continent of Gaul. Roxy-sama believes that he must be exhausted at this point, and as a consequence, she extends an offer to him to visit him at his home. She believes that he will accept the request. As soon as they enter Roxy-sama's house, they see a dinner table that is groaning beneath the weight of an abundance of delicious food. Roxy makes the announcement that it is time for dinner, and Fate is overjoyed because he believes that now he will be able to serve food to Roxy-sama in a more seamless manner. Roxy asks Fate to switch seats with her so that she may sit next to her instead. He was nervous about sitting in such close proximity to Roxy-sama, but other members of the team pushed him and forced him to sit down. Roxy told him not to worry about social norms, that he could eat anything he pleased, and that he should feel free to make himself at home. After dinner, the maid bids Fate farewell and tells him that Roxy-sama is very happy that he came and that she had not seen Roxy-sama this happy in a very long time. Fate ruminates on Roxy, recalling how her mother has been tormented with a horrific recurring ailment for a very long time, and how Roxy's father was killed in combat in Gallia. He arrives at the realization that he will support Roxy-sama in any situation, no matter the outcome. Greed and Fate have set up camp in the woods for the night, and Fate is filling Greed in on a girl he spotted earlier in the day. Greed is quite interested. He asserts that he ran across a strange galleon girl today, and that she had the same red eyes that he used to have while he was abstaining from food. Moreover, he adds that she was just as crazy as he was. He goes on to say that this occurred since they were both starving at the time. Only through humming can greed be said to respond to anything. Fate reveals to him that the girl had stated something that was very comparable to what he had been considering at the time. After then, Fate continues to mull about Greed's words before long and begins to contemplate what they may possibly mean to her. Suddenly, He becomes aware of some sounds, and he makes use of his talent for appraisal in order to do a study of those noises. In front of him, a comprehensive chart materializes, revealing that there are Kibold Jr. with level 25, with a stamina score of 880, a strength score of 890, and a magic score of 350. Will, 400. Agility, 780. Skills, strength increase, medium. The fact that they have increased their expertise in proportion to their strength excites Fate. The medium that is fantastic, greed pushes him to take the initiative, and Fate states that he would have done so even if he had not been commanded to do so. Medium that is amazing. After making this statement, he pulls his sword, and with a single stroke of his blade, cleaves both of the Kibolds in two, so acquiring all of the Kibolds' abilities as well as their power. Fate is upset by the fact that there were only two of them, and greed suggests that it may be because they were on high alert because of the recent happenings. Fate is concerned about Roxy and her mother, and he wonders whether they will be okay. He hopes that nothing awful will happen to Roxy-sama. Subscribe to watch more videos like these, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next part.